everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Real Talking Podcast with your hosts, Ash and JD. So, we haven't got any news this week, really. There hasn't been any new evidence or people talking really about the aliens.
Yeah.
You know, they've not confirmed that they do want to peg us or anything.
Yeah, they've been quiet.
Yeah, they've
since the pegging.
They've not come out with any new ragdolls or anything. So I thought we'd start off with my antics of last weekend.
Yeah, you was on a stag do?
Yeah, my brother's stag do.
Woo. Lads.
We went out to Nottingham, and so to set the scene a little bit, I got to my digs, and the other brother picked me up as we was on the way there then, which, because I didn't stay in town, because the price of the bloody Premier Inns at the moment is ridiculous. So like, Premier Inn was like £130, Travelodge,
Just for
like
sleep and shit.
Yeah, like 140 for a Travelodge, and then it's still like 80 odd pound was like the next cheapest in the town centre. Like, I remember, like, I know we haven't done it for a little while now, but you know, I used to like on the day book the Premier Inn at Robin Hood's, and it's still be like £40 like on the day.
Yeah.
And then literally since COVID, all the prices just gone up. So I got a room. It was just outside of town, 3 miles from the actual centre. £36 bargain. It was almost like a student accommodation, to be fair. But I can't knock it. You know, let's say £36. You just want a bed.
Yeah, you just want to get your head down
You don't need
and have a shit. That's it.
Well, I'll get on to that.
Wait.
So, because it was too early for me to check in, I've literally parked on the drive. Brothers picked me up. So we're driving down. Well, he's driving. I'm sitting in the car. And my brother, whose stag it was, he's rang up. So he'd already been in town since like 9:30.
In the morning?
Yeah, they went and had breakfast.
Did they go to...
No. They literally just went and grabbed breakfast. I don't know if they went to like Weatherspoons or something, but they've grabbed breakfast and they're already on the drinks. So
Yeah, Weatherspoons at 9:30's an alpha move, mate.
well, I remember we went there one morning. Sorry, I will get to the actual story at some point. You know what this podcast is about. We're all over the place with the real talk.
Real.
So I remember we went to one. I don't know what we was doing for the day. We was avoiding some person. One individual.
Yeah.
He who shall not be named. And so it was 3 of us, maybe 4 of us. We just says, yeah,
we're going to avoid this person
all
all
day.
day.
So we went to Weatherspoons, we grabbed the breakfast, and it was like 8:30 in the morning. And there was people that had still been on it all night, just lagging. They were arguing like the beer garden of it, weren't they?
Yeah.
And I remember we've gone to the bar to order the breakfast, and they're there just getting shots and that. You could see they were still sniffed off it. They'd had a full night session, and it was just ongoing, you know, typical Birmingham things, ain't it? So yeah, I don't know exactly, but I think it was like Spoons have had breakfast and they're on the drinks already. So he's rang up my brother while he's driving, and he's like, Deck, I've got this T-shirt on, and it's only Gay Pride, ain't it? You know, there's all the gays around, and I've got this T-shirt on. And I was like, well, you fit in then, don't you, mate?
Yeah.
He's like, fuck off, Joe, fuck off. So I already knew what the T-shirt was roughly, but I hadn't seen it. So as we've got to him, it's a picture of Philip Schofield, and then Team Philip, and then I Heart Schofield on the back. And to be fair, everyone was a trooper. No one come over and give him grief or anything. They knew it was all for the crack. He was already drunk.
By the time you got to it?
Yeah, so it was 11:45 by the time we met up with him.
And he was already gone?
Yeah, he wasn't completely out of his face, but
he was feeling it. Yeah.
You know, already swaying a little bit.
Ooh.
And we was meant to be in the games room thing at 12 o'clock because it was booked for an hour of beer pong and then an hour and a half of playing pool. Because it was they literally wouldn't let you in until 12 o'clock. So we nipped into the pub next door. I was like, there's no point in us getting a drink, but we all got a drink. That first round was £110.
Wait.
That was 10 people, which I says because my dad got the first round. So, as I says to you, when I first says that we was going to go out for the stag doing that, I was like, yeah, all my brothers' mates, they're going to be on the cocktails, ain't they? That's what they ordered. And it was 2 for the price of 1. So, there's 6 lads trying to down 2 cocktails, and there was a round of tequila shots. Trying to get all this down the neck within 10 minutes weren't going to happen. I just started off on a cheeky Guinness. Woo! So we've had that. It was like 12:15 by the time I've managed to hustle everyone together. I'm like, look, let's get in next door. You paid for it. Come on, let's go. So beer pong. I've never played it before, surprisingly.
See, did you play with the rules where the ball can bounce into it, or it's got to be a clean?
Right.
swing?
So the setup, it wasn't a flat table. So it was like raised where you put the cups, then it stepped down, and then raised back up for the other side for their cups.
Right.
So I asked everyone else in general, like, what do you want to do? Do you want the bounce rule or straight in? No one gave an answer because the majority of them, as I say, there was 6 of them that were already not really asked about doing it, to be fair, but they were already on the way to being out of the faces. So I was like, all right, I'll take charge, straight in, no bounce, let's just go. I've never played it before, it is what it is. There wasn't shots. They give us a tray of, I think it was 10, the small cans of Koppenberg.
Yeah.
So fruity cider, it is what it is, it's all right. So I've set up, put a little bit up to the line with the Koppenberg, and then it was put into teams. So there was basically my family and then the rest of the lads. So it was 5 on 5. It was all over the place, to be fair, but me, being a man, first shot, boom, straight in, made him down his drink. Second shot as well, boom, straight in.
So just
because it was in teams of 5, so it was all.
do you get to choose who downs a drink if you get it in?
So it's who you're playing against, who's taking the throw against you.
Right.
They have to take a drink. So,
So you're 2-2 at the moment there.
Yeah, so I was put up against the lads. His nickname was Amy, so I'll call him Amy. I can't remember his real name, but it was his nickname anyway.
Shout out to Amy.
He was a good lad, to be fair.
Great
At
lad.
least at first. We'll get on to it. It's a long story. So he's already down 2. I'm sweet, and I'm holding the team up. Like everyone else just can't seem to hold it. But we ended up winning that first one. I've settled for the second one, and it's just all bedlam because it's like a games, not a room, but like a venue where there's so there was bowling in there. There was like table tennis, tables, pool tables, all sorts. But by the time I've settled the second round, like half the lads have already wandered off. They've gone upstairs, they've found some other game, and they're trying to play on that. I'm like, what are you doing? But anyway, we had a quick play on that. Literally just ploughed through it, finished it. There was still 2 cans left, so I ended up keeping them because I ain't going to let alcohol go to waste. So then we started playing pool. Again, we was in pairs, couple of games of pool. Nothing really to brag about. I hadn't played for years, but let's just say undefeated. I had to laugh though because I didn't run a pub, but I used to live in a pub while the missus ran it. So my brother's telling everyone, he's a shark, he's a game shark. He used to live in the pub and he knows he's top quality rare. But no, it ain't like that. I haven't played for years, which I hadn't done. I really hadn't. But it's like riding a bike, ain't it? You got it, you never lose it.
So, as well as being a top shagger that we established last week.
Yeah, I'm a top
pink
beer pong.
Beer pong, sorry.
And I've still got
a pool shark.
Still got the techers. So, after all that madness, it was time for me to go and check in.
Right, so what time is this about now then?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, right.
No, sorry, actually, it wasn't that. I wanted to go and check in. But
Yeah.
the rest of the group, well, like, my brother and his mates, decided we'll go for another drink first. So I was like, alright, where's this pub? We ended up walking 15 minutes to the other side of the canal just to go in this one specific pub. I was like, I might as well go back because like, we was parked in a car park. So I was like, we might as well go back. I'll go check in and then we'll meet you there. No, it's only down there. And literally I was walking for 15 minutes.
Yeah, you might as well just went back.
Yeah, I was raging. But was what it was. Had a drink in there. Then ended up having to foot slap back with my brother. Dad was ready to go.
But your dad did say he was going jar for jar with you.
Oh, we thought he was going to be a man that day, but he wasn't. You know, he had, I think, 5 drinks in total. So, he just hasn't got it anymore. You know, he's getting too old for it. He needs to admit it, but he never will. Frankie D. But, so, brothers took me back. I've gone and checked in, let them toddle on, got a cab. When I met up with
So
him,
Deck didn't have a drink, what he won't drink?
No, he doesn't drink anyway. So, got a taxi. Nice gentleman as well. Like, you know, I barely go out drinking much anyway, but he was telling me about, I don't know, it was a religious event going on down in London. And he says, I'm already late. It started 2 days ago. He says, yeah, you're a bit more than late, mate. And,
Yeah, you've missed it.
yeah, but once he was going to do like another hour or two, and then he was going to drive to London from Nottingham and catch like the last couple of hours. But he was showing me on YouTube like the videos and like the live feed. It was just hordes of people. It weren't just like I might get it wrong. I didn't actually ask what religion he was, but he was Muslim or Indian. He wasn't Sikh. Definitely wasn't Sikh. But yeah, it was a mix of cultures there. There was like a big market essentially, almost like the German market that happens around Christmas. You know, there was like tents with the foods. I don't think there was alcohol. I didn't ask about that, to be honest. But it looked amazing, to be honest. You know, it's not something that English people tend to do. Like, not necessarily just as a religious thing and that, but there's not really like events that just thousands of people turn up to and just have a genuinely nice time. You know, I would have been confident going there, not worrying about anything kicking off, about am I going to get stabbed or robbed or whatever. It would have just been a nice thing to be involved in. So I wish them the best. I got out, found the rest of them, and this is when I started to think I probably shouldn't have come back.
Right, and what time was this now?
So this is about 4 o'clock.
So 4 o'clock. So
Roughly.
you've been on it for about 4 hours. No,
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah.
I've been on it since 9:30, so that's still a few hours, to be fair.
Yeah, so it's me.
4 o'clock now.
Yeah, me with the rest of them. I'm not trying to play catch up.
Yeah.
Like, not that I felt that I needed to, but you know, I've had a couple of drinks. I'm in the mood now.
Yeah.
So as I've walked in, it was a piano bar. So it's never going to be the cheapest of places. Sun was out, as I say. There was I sound ignorant saying a gay pride. You know, it was an LGBTQ plus parade.
Yeah.
Like, the whole shebang was there. No Sam Smith, luckily.
No.
I would have had to tell him about himself. Tell him to take his turtles out and get off.
We should ask Sam Smith to be on this podcast.
I think he'd really take well to us, wouldn't he? He'd be our new best mate.
Yeah. I think you'd either really love him, or you'd just be like, nah.
I don't think he'd tolerate us. But yeah, so the queue for the bar was already like 5 people deep, and it's always been a pet peeve of mine. You know, I've always had manners. You know, I'm looking around, knowing who's ahead of me.
Yeah.
Because you know, there's like 10
it's
people wide, and that. It's like, right, yeah, they were there first. When that bar
you always
person
point
sees,
it was
like,
it.
it's them next. And you still get people trying to push in front. Yeah, you're like, oh, what are you doing? But I weren't bothered.
Yeah, I always feel like you think everyone thinks the same way as you do.
Because they should do, but there's just a lack of etiquette with everyone, isn't there? So, ended up, it probably took about 20 minutes to finally get served, because as I say, it was rammed.
So did you double up?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I got myself 2 pints of Guinness because I mainly stuck to Guinness the whole of the day. Got my brother-in-law a drink, my brother a drink. I did ask some of the other lads if they wanted something, but they'd already just got drinks
And
as
there was
I
already
landed.
still on the cocktails.
Yeah. So they were all right. And then as I've come back out, this is where it gets interesting.
Right.
I got recognised.
For the podcast?
Nah.
Oh, I was going to say. No, I was just saying.
No, I've walked out and
I was
because I was talking to the rest of the lads, they've heard the Brummie accents, a few people, like, what, you're from Birmingham? What are you doing around here? I was like, my brother's stag do, ain't it, log? So, that struck up a couple of conversations. There was a lady that was there, she lives, to be fair, not far from here, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm out with my friends and that, blah, blah. Like, alright, sound. So, we're all sitting outside, starts getting windy, drinks are getting knocked over. I'm like, I can't handle this. I'm ready to find a nice little pub, as we do, sit down, have a few beers.
Yeah, relax
and
it.
chill.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to do our usual thing. I'm saying I'm the oldest there. I'm like 2 years older than the rest of them.
Yeah.
But I'm not in stag do mode.
Yeah, you want to like kind of like relax a little bit. Get to the point where it's not taking 20 minutes to get served.
Yeah.
And then literally just chill there for 2 hours and then just see what happens and you just have one of them ones.
Yeah. That's I know it sounds arrogant or ignorant and lazy, but I'm just too old for it. I enjoy getting drunk, don't get me wrong, but it's been a good 10 years or so that I've been willing to stand in those queues and that. There's a reason why we don't go clubbing anymore, because I just can't be bothered with you.
We must start a thing on this podcast where it's like, it was a show where you put it in the bin, where it's like you just don't, just put it in the bin. So I feel like for our podcast version of that, which is not entirely like that, it's totally different, we should put paying to get into a club over Furley in the bin. So if you have to pay to get into a club and you're Furley, you shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You're
So yeah, we'll get on to that. So, it was a long night.
So what time's now? Set the scene. So
right. So with this.
Did you move on from?
Yeah. So with the couple of girls that because when I first walked out and like they were like, "God, you're not from around here, or Brummie, where?" I've had to confirm, like we've had to prove that we're actually brothers. Now, fair enough, like we're step brothers.
Yeah.
But we're still brothers, and they're like, you're not brothers? But we'd convinced them that we're actually biologically full-blood brothers, and yeah, they accepted it after that. So because they've ended up joining our group, it was like, right, well, you couple are local, where do we go now? So it was all off to Revolutions or whatever, I don't know. I didn't know at the time, but some of the things started getting a bit hazy from there. So we've toddled around.
And Revolution and Bar used to, or was it?
There definitely was a Revolution. Wherever we went, anyway, it's a pub that once it gets to like a certain time, then it's a nightclub, but it's still inside a pub.
Yeah.
So essentially, they just turn the lights off, put disco lights on.
And did it open up an extra bit or whatever?
No, it literally was.
So it's just a pub.
A big pub that don't do food, and it was like, lights go off, DJ turns the music up, and then that's it.
Being that you mentioned food, I take you haven't eaten still.
I hadn't had breakfast. When we was in the games room, I had 3 or 4 like small squares, like 3-inch squares of pizza.
They're massive, mate. 3 inches.
Depends on who you're asking. Yeah, it wasn't filling, and I did want to have something else to eat, but I just never ended up getting round to it.
Oh, they're the worst.
I know. Again, tangent from the story. The amount of times I've done that, I think about days when I met everyone at the Raven or whatever, and the plan was have food, but I start drinking, and then I just don't eat, and I just carry on drinking. Oh, I don't like to do that these days. I try and have a bite to eat. So yeah, we've gone round to this pub that turns into a club eventually. We're in there. we're all having a laugh, a chat, and that. And as I've turned around, we've been in this pub about 20 minutes.
Right.
I'd literally just gone to the bar to get a second drink in there.
And how are you feeling? Are you like feeling it?
I'm still alright.
Right.
Because I've kind of had
you're going back. And
I had
going
almost
forth.
like an hour's worth of not drinking.
Yeah.
Back to the car, to the digs, and then back into town. So I'm alright at that point. But yeah, I've just gone to the bar, got a second drink in this pub, and then as I've gone back over to everyone else chatting, I've just seen a bit of commotion in the corner of my eye on the left hand side, and as I've turned, Amy has decided to get on the table and try and hang from the light fitting from the ceiling, which
a bit wild, isn't it?
yeah, which for anyone that knows how to fit a light fitting, essentially you only have a couple of small screws that fixes the light to the ceiling.
Yeah.
So as he's grabbed it, it's all fell down, and he's landed on the floor, and it's a long cable with a big metal, sort of like a cast iron effect lampshade that's pretty much sitting on the table now as well, just hanging from its wires. And I've just shook my head and I says, I am not with him. I'm finishing this drink and then we'll go wherever else now.
Yeah.
So obviously the bouncers come over, they've took him straight out, and the one of them's come over to me to try and say, you need to get out because your mate's just done that. I went, I don't know him. Which, to be fair, I'd only known him for a few hours. Technically, I weren't lying, but I was like, I don't know, not with him. So, finished the drinks, left there, and then obviously had to go somewhere else there.
So what time is this about?
So again, now we're probably looking. That was probably about 5:30-ish.
And these are the same lads have been on it since about 9:30.
Yeah, because there's only 7 of us out. 7?
Yeah, because your dad.
No, sorry, there's 8 of us.
Your dad
There's 8
went
of us
there?
out. Yeah, dad and little brother went. So there's 8 of us out still. So from there, it's literally where everyone sort of started getting lost from each other. One group of lads just completely disappeared. I still knew where I was with my brother and brother-in-law, and then my brother's disappeared because he's found out where the others were. So he's gone to find them. So me and the brother-in-law were just standing there trying to phone people to see where they are to try and meet up. And then out of nowhere comes this lady with half a head shaved,
Classic.
lime green dress thing on. Not really a dress, but it's
Like a leotard.
it's just not what you expect a dress to be made out of, the material.
Okay.
But it was a dress. It covered her, went down to her knees, and because I'm standing there talking to my brother-in-law, she's heard my accent, and she's like, you're a Brummie? I was like, you're a fucking yam-yam, because I've heard that twang, which I know we've got a twang, but yam-yams are just
It's
worse.
different, mate.
It's just, I know a lot of people out there, they won't notice a difference. Trust me, there's a difference. So, to be fair, she was sound. Like, she'd lost her friends. She wasn't local, obviously. So she just wanted to, not a familiar voice, but speak to someone and just try and make a friend. Which, to be fair, as I said, she was sound. We had a little bit of a walk around while I was trying to find everyone else, because when getting through to my brother, he couldn't tell us where he was. So we've gone around and then ended up finding them eventually. She's still with us because she'd completely lost her friends. She was smashed out of face, to be fair. But she was all right with it. She wasn't falling over or anything. She was in a good mood. She was hammered, but in a good way.
She was spirited.
Yeah. So I didn't mind that she took along with us. And then, so it's probably getting close to, we're probably on about 7, between 7 and 8. Because I'll be honest, I wasn't looking at the time at this point.
Yeah.
And my brother brother-in-law, they've gone now. I was with a couple of the other lads because they decided to stay out. Ended up losing them. But then, no, sorry, I have skipped a little bit. When we'd all met back up, again, there was another group of ladies that had decided to join us. Which I get it, you know, like, you're on a stag.
Yeah, you kind of like...
Brother's got a Philip Schofield top on. It is drawing attention.
Yeah, you kind of like anyone that isn't from the city, kind of like...
Yeah,
it's from here.
It's interesting. It's a talking topic. And again, I have my hair down when it is all nice and fresh and clean, and it's all curly. So I had a few people just walking past shouting Jesus and whatever. I don't claim to be the son of God, but you know, if you want to see me that way, then sound. So yeah, this other group of girls had joined with us.
Jesus.
I know. That's what I was saying. Jesus Christ. I remember. So it does start to get hazy. Obviously, I've had a fair few to drink now, barely eaten. But I remember standing there at one point, and this one girl from the new group of people that joined us, she's talking to me, and then out of the blue, she shoves her phone in my face.
Yeah.
And this kind of links on a little bit to what we touched on last week with the younger generations. So she shoved the phone in my face, and it's her deep throating a massive dildo, and she's full on and she's like, "What do you think of that?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's nice." And look, I've got my wedding ring on. I've already says to several people I'm married and that.
Why is she just randomly showing it? It's just weird, isn't it?
This is what I was confused about. Is this a thing that the younger generation want to show us? Are showing each other, I can do this. Do you want some?
Yeah.
Or what? I say, it was literally, what do you think of that? I was like, yeah, that sound fair play. I didn't give a shit, and the fact that she's done it, wanting a reaction as if
let's go. Come on, let's
find an alleyway or something. So I've turned her down.
Did you tell her that she's 10 years too late?
I didn't actually know. I literally just says, "Oh yeah, that sounds fair play to you."
And also, this touches on the stuff we was on about last week.
Well, that's what I'm
that
saying.
These youth today don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're all in their own fucking.
Or next
they
level.
Just love it.
Let's just love it. Next level.
So I don't know if they joined us knowing that we was a stag do, thinking this is going to be a raging gangbang tonight. Then
massive orgy.
Probably fucking thinking.
How old was that?
As a guess, they were early to mid 20s.
Yeah, see.
So around 10 years younger than me, I'd say. But that pretty much ended my conversations with her because I reminded her that I'm married. I was like, yeah, so I literally tapped the ring again because obviously I'll speak to anyone, especially when I've got a beard down my neck as well. You know, I'm friendly, and the fact that I'd already says to everyone married, blah blah, and then to come out with stuff like that, it's like I don't know what you're trying to achieve. But there's other lads in the group that will happily go off and do whatever. I don't know how many of them had misses or whatever, but you know the kind that they're game to do stuff, but I can't be arsed with anything like that. I ain't gonna go into my history or anything of growing up, but it's not my cup of tea. I don't see why, if you're gonna, especially married, why you're gonna go off and cheat and that. If you're not happy, you gotta end it, and there's just no need fucking dragging it on. So yeah, after that, they pretty much just left. I don't know, probably found some other gullible sod to show a video of a deep throat and a dildo. Well, I couldn't even say how big the dildo was. I just know there was fucking just saliva everywhere, and you just pretty much seen nostrils, eyes, dildo in the mouth. I was like, yeah, sound fucking good for you. So then after that, I've kind of lost the rest of the lads. So my brother and brother-in-law, they've gone home, but I'm out now, so I've stayed out.
Yeah. Also, because you do you remember messaging me at 12 o'clock or not? That night?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. I just wanted to make sure that you still are aware
Yeah.
at that time.
So I'd floated around, went to a couple of different pubs. Didn't realise one that I'd already been in had changed into a club. So I've had to pay like fucking £9 to get in. Ended up with a wristband. And then
£9?
it was something like
£9 just to get in?
It was something like that. And I remember, because that was the last place I went. So I'm on my own. I saw the queue was massive. And then I saw the shot girl floating around. I was like, Bab, I'll have some of them Jaeger bombs. So I had 4 Jaeger bombs. Stood at the table with these 4 shots. I just remember standing there looking around like, what am I fucking doing here?
Yeah, you don't need to be doing Jaeger shots.
I'm too old for it. I'm on my own.
Yeah.
And like, why am I here?
Yeah.
So just fucking spent 10 minutes just downed them. And then I fucking toddled off. And so I'm trying to find fucking which way to go, what kind of general direction to get a taxi. And at this point, it's the usual typical stuff. I didn't have any cash in my wallet left. I'd gone for £120 cash, and I know that I'd bought drinks on my card.
Yeah.
So I'd gone back to old JD days.
Sweet.
And then for some reason, the taxi driver didn't have a card machine. Whereas all of them these days have a card machine. I'm like, well, what are we going to do then, mate? I've got no cash. I want to pay on my card. So he's ended up having to take me to a petrol station so I could draw out £20 to give him. I was like, am I getting change? No. I was like, it's been a 5-minute drive for you and you're telling me that's £20? He's like, yeah. I said, mate, you're lucky I'm fucking not local to home because I fucking would have just walked off. But yeah, went in. And again, I suppose this is where it takes another fucking left turn. I've decided to get into bed. Not that I decided to. I got into bed. I've had a sleep for like an hour or so. And then I woke up. And I've needed to go to the toilet. But as I say, this accommodation, it's like a student accommodation. There's no personal en-suites. I'm on the top floor.
Yeah.
So I've had to go downstairs to go into the toilet. But I didn't get dressed again. I was just literally in my boxers.
Yeah.
And I remembered in the morning, there's bloody cameras in the corridors and that. So the people that own this house are looking at me, walking around the stupid o'clock to go to the toilet. And I barely just sat down. And there's someone trying to open the handle. I'm like, mate, give me 5 minutes. Okay. So then I've ended up going back up to bed, and then I've woke up at 4 o'clock. I'm like, no. Woke again up at like 5 o'clock. No. So I ended up properly, because I couldn't sleep properly then anyway, not in my own bed and just restless. So I've watched a bit of crap on my phone, then ended up heading back 9 o'clock in the morning. So just the moral of all that really is that we're too old to be doing stupid stuff like that. You know, I know it was self-inflicted in the end. I was out, I was drunk, and I've stayed drinking. But I think the main outcome of it is twofold really. Two things to point out. Let's say it was a pride gathering going on, and I'd like to give a shout out to the general of them, because I didn't have any of them coming up to me. Like the conversation I did have with people passing by and all that, none of them were trying to they, them, on this and that, like trying to call me cis male or whatever. It was all just nice, pleasant conversation. You're right, mate, how you doing? Blah, blah. You know, back like how it was when we did used to go out to the the gay quarters in town. And then the other part of it is what is with the younger generation. So
They love you, mate.
I'm still baffled of what she thought she was going to achieve by.
You sucked them.
Especially. Like, she must have it set as a favourite video so she can just
and
get it straight up.
Like, who just shows random people there?
Yeah, so fair enough.
It's these youths, mate.
Because I've been speaking to everyone in the group now, I might have spoke to her for like 5 minutes in total out of the whole time we was all together. And then just to be like, yeah, what do you think about this? Just don't get what it was about.
Yeah.
It just because at the time I didn't really care about it, and then it was just as I was driving back, I'm like, what was that all about? Like,
When you reflect,
what was she trying to achieve? I just don't get it.
Yeah.
If any of yous out there that do listen and watch on the YouTubes, Real Talking Pod on YouTube, if you want to give your side of it, like, you know, if you are of the younger generation,
that's showing you sucking dildos.
And that's into this kind of thing. Like, enlighten us. Tell us what the benefit of it is, or what you feel, why you're happy doing that. Because as I say, we're not old, but 34. Like,
just people weren't doing that.
I suppose we didn't have phones good enough to do anything like that.
What do you mean? My 3310 was fucking top tier, mate.
Yeah, but if you wanted to send a dick pic, it was fucking. It was a number 3 or a capital B, a couple of equal signs, and then a capital D.
Yeah.
And then fucking hell, that is showing our age now. So yeah, if any of you out there do have an explanation of why that's acceptable, I'm not like trying to shame this guy or anything. Like, it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't have done anything anyway. So I don't know what her end goal was.
Maybe they just move now, just moving mad.
Again, it probably is because everyone's into everything, so it might be, you're married, but it don't matter.
Yeah. Kind
of mentality. I don't know. But yeah, let us know. Either comment it on the YouTube page, tweet it, or slide in the DM on Ash and JD. Well, it's not Twitter no more, is it? It's changed to X.
Well, they've changed names.
Yeah, Elon's made a new crypto called X. So he's changed Twitter to X.
All right.
Yeah, I know it's confusing. To be fair, because it's all like in dark mode now, so it looks better when you're scrolling through. On a personal preference, that is. But yeah, tweet us, slide in the DM, or send your opinion on it via email, realtalkingpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, it's me, this is me face. Just want to remind you, we want you to send in any questions that you might have, any topics you want us to talk about. Email us at realtalkingpod@gmail.com. Tweet us, it's Ash and JD, that's the Twitter handle. So literally anything that you might have, just say hello. Literally, doesn't matter to us. Send them in. See ya. So I think that leads us nicely on to another email. Now, we've had a reply from Kirsten.
Okay.
So, thanks for emailing again as well, Kirsten. So, hi guys, thanks for the advice. I'm not a puppet shagger, even though he is a muppet. Don't know if he was cheating, but dumped him anyway. He's been a twat for weeks, so ended it anyway. I know my worth, and I'm only 19, so don't need that shit. Loving the pod anyway. Keep me laughing. Thanks. Thanks for the kind words, firstly.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
It's a shame. Obviously, she wasn't happy in a relationship. You've done the right thing. As you say, you're 19. Too young for it. Don't need to be tied down at 19. I remember them days, I say, being a top shagger.
Well, she'll be doing those videos with the dildos soon then.
If you're one of them, don't send us the video of you actually doing it. But, just give your views on that. Do you like to deep throat a rubber dildo? I don't know what other materials there might be made of, to be honest. But yeah, the main thing, you're going to be happy now. You're still young, you don't need to be fucking around. I suppose you might be a little bit gutty you didn't have to get the chance to rub deep heat on his bollocks and cause him a bit of physical pain.
Maybe for the next one though.
Yeah, the next one, I'm not hoping he does, but the next fella might be a dickhead and do
Or just
something.
like pegging.
Yeah. But again, the next person might be into that. Don't know.
Well, they're young, so they probably are into that, mate.
Yeah. Have you not tried it this week now?
No, I've never walked.
Not even says to the missus, just slip a little digit in there.
No.
No. Really surprised about that. So you just sat in the back.
You seem eager for it, mate. Like you've done it.
I'm on my own most of the week, so you know what? I haven't had a chance. Fucking hell.
Wrong finger.
Yeah. Just fucking, woo.
The thumb as well.
Get the biggest one in there, lad. Okay. I ain't got a long thumb. It's just obviously thumb's usually the widest digit, isn't it? So yeah, glad that you've got yourself happy. It's always the main thing. Personal growth and positivity. It's always the best way to be. Obviously, Ashley didn't actually mean that you was a puppet shagger. It was all for the pants.
Yeah, it was all good-hearted.
Yeah, so glad you saw the funny side of it. Since you called him a muppet, so it was a nice bit of a segue for yourself there. Then we have got the return of the Mac.
The OJ.
Danny G. He sent his message in.
Danny G.
He's gone, fuck David.
Dave, don't stand for that, mate. Don't stand for that. Hostile.
So he's gone, fuck David, jokes. Yeah, you might not have heard that over Ashley's laughing, but he's gone, jokes. So, David, you might mean it, you might not. He's put jokes. So I'll wait for your comeback. Fucking Danny G is ready for it on this one. He's gone, so go on then, top shagger. Give us an embarrassing sex story. I know you've had a flop or two. And then he's signed it, Danny G.
Danny G. Top shagger.
Top shagger story time.
Fuck Dave as well. Honestly, mate, hostile coming in. Right, it's so much love anyway.
Look, not sounding braggy or anything.
Wait, why do you think you was a top shagger first? Let's dive into that a little bit.
I mean, how long we got left on the episode?
I mean,
no, it's when I was younger, before I met the wife, I was just had a lot of success with the ladies, and I never had any complaints.
Right.
Not to my face, anyway. Yeah, I'm not going to try and say I hit a high number or anything, because I don't know what the number was. Lost count.
Fuck Dave.
Yeah, it's just, just was, ain't it? Just, still am, to be fair, just with one lady. So yeah, not trying to sound like a brag or anything, but never had a time where I've not been able to get it up. Had a few times where I've not been able to finish, but that's down to alcohol. No drugs, never done the drugs. Yeah, just you're that lagging, you just can't finish. So I suppose that leads me to one funny story where I can't say all of it because one, it's long and that's what she said. There's too many details that do need to stay out of it. But the end of it was went back to this girl's house, lady's house, not girl. She was of age.
Right, and how long ago was this? How old was you?
This was in the Kerryman days.
Now, if anyone's been into the Kerryman,
it's
big
birth in Birmingham town.
And also, you know what kind of girls go in the Kerryman.
All the classy ladies.
So you can establish that from the clientele.
Well, to be honest, as part of this story, I can confirm. I personally says that she looked like Hayley Cropper from Coronation Street. It's not a proud moment. It's It's nothing I ever brag about, but it was a time that I winged a certain friend in.
Yeah. Also, whether I need to make sure whether we're off the thing. What about the?
No, not that one.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I can bring that story up at some point. But yeah, so ended up going back. I remember she had a cat with literally like a nub of a tail, and so I called the cat Arthur.
Classy.
And she's like, "Why are you calling it Arthur?"
Arthur
It says Arthur Tail. We had a few more drinks in yours, and then I was like, "Come on, then we're going to bed then." Being all drunk and confident, and went upstairs. I don't know how long it was going on for, but I know I fell asleep on top of her while inside. So, as I woke up in the morning, she happily told me that I fell asleep, which I weren't bothered about, was not going to deny. And I says, "Alright then, you're going to make a bacon sandwich then?" Which she did. Okay. Fair play to her. She went and made a bacon sandwich for
Did
me.
the bacon sandwich keep you awake, mate?
Not for round 2, no. I had that sandwich and dipped. I was not staying. So that's the only kind of like closest to that of like a lack of performance that I could think of. I've got another time that comes to mind was I mean, back in the day, we like a lot of men do this anyway, but like it's so hard as a man to be able to like pull on a night out. Like the effort that you have to go through, because literally most women in general can just be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go home with that person tonight," and not necessarily just because they're attractive, because the later on in the night, the less attractive they are, the more likely they're gonna be able to, because men are drunk, horny, and don't give a shit in general.
It's what we call in the trade 10 to 3 girls.
Yeah. So, there was one occasion, I'm not saying this lady was like a munter.
Wait, what are you saying then?
Nah, she was alright, to be fair.
Okay.
So because of how much effort we had to put in, just chatting shit and that, lies after lies, and just big yourself up, make you seem like the best person in the venue at the time. I can't remember what I'd actually said, what weird I'd spun. I probably said I had like a flock of horses or something. I know that's not the term, but we'll go with that. But I ended up going back to this woman's house, doing a deed, Top Shagger references and all that. She said I was the best one of her lifetime. Gold stars all round. But I remember waking up in the morning anyway and looking to the side. So on the bedside table was a picture of her and 2 young lads that were like 14 and 12, something like that. And I remember we was 19 at the time. So I'm thinking, I'm old enough to be their older brother. She was probably about 40. She thought I was a lot older than what I'd said.
And where did you meet this woman? Do you remember?
It probably was the Kerryman again, to be honest. I don't remember.
The clientele in there.
I just remember. So again, as I got up, she's actually made me breakfast. So I sat there, had breakfast. The sons weren't at home. They were at the dad's for the weekend. So I suppose that's why she was out, really. So yeah, had my breakfast, done all the pleasantries as you do, and then as I've gone to leave, I was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm only 19," and the look of like horror, sort of like shame on her face, and I saw she wanted to fucking hit me as well. So I've just ran. Like there was like a little brick wall with a gate in the middle, a metal gate. I've just like ran through that. Ran down the road, didn't even know where I was. I ended up at King's Norton way, King Stanley way. I just remember running for like 2 minutes to make sure I was out of sight of the house. I took a couple of lefts and rights and that. Ended up getting a bus back into Birmingham Town Centre and back to Solihull, where I used to live. Not really an embarrassing one for me, so to say, because I done my job for the night. I had a good night.
Yeah, you got yours.
Yeah, I got mine. She definitely had hers. I mean,
Imagine if she listens to the podcast right now and she's like,
you know, I couldn't. I don't even know if I remember the name that night, let alone try and recall what it was today. I mean,
the caravan weren't a safe space, was it really?
we had some good times in that caravan, though.
Did we?
Yeah.
Maybe
I
you
know,
did.
I did. But that's the difference. Well, I know we've said it before. When I went out, I was out. And you've rarely ever got onto that same level of drunkenness. I don't think I actually recall a night that you're blackout drunk.
No, it's just something that when you out and about, it just doesn't seem a natural thing to do.
Well, not so much these days, but my attitude used to always be go hard or go home. And I went that hard, I couldn't go home. The amount of times, because we'd always go for the breakfast in the morning, and not that I was ever ashamed, but it was always, you was asleep in the chip shop and you'd face planted the floor and this and that.
But it weren't that. You fell over sitting down.
Yeah, I was sitting on the window ledge.
No, yeah, but you fell over. and then when you hit the floor, you was like...
Because also I didn't know what was going on.
There was a delay. There was a delay.
Yeah.
So you fell and then screamed like you was falling, but you was already on the floor at that point.
That's what I.
Do you remember when you were sick as well? In Snobs.
In Snobs.
Oh my, that was a yeah. So Snobs before it moved used to be on the corner. I can't remember the street, but it's now it's still on the corner, but it used to be in a smaller venue, and it was for my brother's birthday, and you was fucked before you even got in the car, and I had to coach you to get into the taxi. Went in there, went into Snobs, and you just started throwing up, and it was just literally, it was like a puddle. It covered distance. Do you not remember that? That's the same night you fell over, sitting down.
No, I can't remember that. Meant I had a good night though, you know, and it was always fun reminiscing for everyone else the next morning. So I was happy with that.
Yeah.
That was one of my roles as a part of the group back in the day, just to be that guy.
Just to be top shagger.
Well, you know, obviously when I wasn't having a bad night like that, I was, weren't I? But yeah, I know did we talk about it on another one when we was in Worcester across the bench?
Yeah, no, I think we've
I think we did. Fuck it. For any new listeners, because we know you're out there and we do appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, download.
And
you know
follow,
what to do.
and follow.
You know what to do, but it's nice to remind you. It does you no harm. It's literally just press that on your phone or laptop, whatever. So for the new listeners, it was a time when we went to Worcester and just being divs really, because we went to the bar. We was at the bar before the rest of the lads. We'd already had a good few drinks anyway, but we went to the bar, and for whatever reason that night, because every now and again we would buy cigars just to have a little puff on.
There was a little section in that club where you could buy cigars.
Yeah.
In there, But if I remember, these ones were ones. Was it the ones I brought from the Dominican? Anyway, it don't matter anyway. But there were cigars.
I'm sure we bought these from
Was
the
that the
other
ones?
bar, 'cause
Right.
literally, I don't know why we went out and started to smoke them before the rest of the lads come out anyway.
He was before that actually. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he was. Yeah.
So we've gone out while we're waiting for the rest of them. Decided to light them on our own instead of waiting for everyone else. Because I remember where we were, the club that we was in. It was basically all downstairs, and after a certain time, they'd open the barrier for the stairs to go up,
upstairs,
the external stairs for the upstairs. And essentially, it was just park bench inside, like, blocking
Yeah.
them steps. We're next to that. We've lit it up. We're having a chat. Fucking, I've inhaled it, which you're not supposed to do with cigars. You're meant to just take it in the mouth. Enjoy. Like that video last week, Jesus. Enjoy the taste, even though it's never enjoyable. And then like, blow it back out.
Yeah,
So I've inhaled it. So I've inhaled it while I'm talking, and I just remember just putting my hand up, giving it
Yeah,
like,
the one- yeah,
one
one
second,
sec.
like fucking turned, and it was like the scene from The Exorcist, projectile straight across
Yeah.
that bench, and it weren't just like it's
No, it had
touching
range.
the bench.
Yeah.
It was like I might be exaggerating a bit, but it was like 2 meters. It just went straight out.
Yeah.
Like it just fucking moved.
It was
You're
like
there, like,
no, it was like you used water got mate, but in sick.
yeah, you because I remember I'd finished, turn, and you're like gobsmacked, like your jaws hanging as if you had like 10 lines.
Yeah.
Not that you ever
No,
have.
but it was because no one else noticed it.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people outside. No one's seen.
No one.
Well, I've stopped, turned to you, you're gobsmacked, and I went, hang on, again for another like 2 seconds. Felt like minutes, to be fair though. Fucking. And then I remember just like, we need to move from here. So we walked away, gone on, because there was like a big outside table, and then everyone else has come out.
Yeah.
And I remember you just saying, how did no one see that? I was
Yeah.
like, don't worry about it, man, don't worry about it. Fucking. So I felt sorry for the staff when they would have had to have moved that chair just to let people upstairs.
Oh, man, just someone sitting on it.
Oh, God.
Covered.
Like, on the bottom of the dress and that, like, or like, geezer with the jeans on, like, stains. Carrots and peas and that, even though I hadn't had none. Sweet corn. Oh, God, oil. But it was, like, no, it's like that. That was what we was made for. They were the good old days. I can't do stuff like that these days. As I say, last weekend, don't get me wrong, like, I was tired when I woke up, but I weren't hungover. I didn't have a pound in head or anything. My main thing these days, I just need enough sleep. So I can have a sober night, like just a school night basically, just not have a good night's sleep and wake up feeling crap in the morning.
Yeah.
Like I had it the other night. I don't know where, but in the roof there's like a cracked hole or something. So when the rain's coming a certain direction, I've got an old-fashioned house where you have a pull cord in the bedroom for like turning the lights on, and it just so happens to be in the middle of the bed. So when the rain comes through at a certain angle, wherever this damaged tile is, the roof tile, it comes down through the hole of the pull cord, drips right on my fucking head. So 2 o'clock again the other morning, drip. Oh, fucking so. Because I'm awake at 2 o'clock, even though I'll get up at 4 o'clock anyway, but I'm awake 2 hours early. I felt shit that day because I've only had like 4 hours sleep essentially. So that's my main thing. I can have a good drink, and then as long as I have enough sleep, you know, like 8 hours, whatever, then I'm alright. But I don't know how I used to do it. Just drink all night, have 2-3 hours kip, if that,
And then do it again.
still be able to like graft the next day. And then, yeah, say drink the next night. I don't know. Well, I suppose it's just the joys of being a youth, any
Yeah.
the old gargling youth.
I mean, I can't get over that. You know, Danny G just said fuck Dave, to be honest.
I know. Yeah, thanks for the email, Dan. I hope those stories were sufficient enough for your needs of knowing I was a top shagger, am a top shagger, will always be a top shagger.
Do you reckon Danny G's a top shagger, or used to be?
Danny G hasn't got it in him. I know personally that David says, fuck you. I hope we get like David
the little
now,
thing going
just
on.
like,
Dave will respond.
fuck you, Dave. But nah, Dave, seriously, you need to reply to him. You know, if you want to send a picture of your massive slong and say, how do you feel about this, Dan? I'll send it to him. I've got his email address. I'll forward it. But yeah, I think that's an hour now. We'll leave it at that. Appreciate it. Again,
Yeah, thanks for your emails.
Kirst, Lord, I hope you're happy now, or like you're on the road to being happy anyway. Anything else you might have any needs of advice for, you are listening to the right podcast, because we will give you the real talk as always,
and the real advice.
Just the realest of everything, the real needs, the real quench, the real thirst, real talk. So, yeah, we've already said it. You know what to do. Email, tweet, like, subscribe, share, download, all the lot. Appreciate yous. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Peace.